What's up, y'all? My name is Jesse with Greatt Builds, and in today's video I'm going to be turning these old bowling alley slabs into some countertops for our fixer-upper house we're working on. These slabs have really thick lacquer on them, so the first step into making these into countertops is to get that top layer off. I don't really have a good way to get these huge slabs sanded down efficiently, as they do weigh about 350 pounds apiece, but luckily I've got Ridgid's 18-volt hand planer, and that seemed to work pretty well getting off this top layer. The process is really slow and time-consuming, but I would much rather do this than have to try and sand these down by hand. These slabs aren't the smoothest of boards, as they've been hit constantly with heavy bowling balls throughout their lives, so some areas have needed a few passes with the planer to get that top coat evenly off. After I finished up planing the top of these slabs, I had to get this first edge nice and square, so I grabbed a long straight edge and marked my line at one end of the slab. Then I got my Ridgid track saw and made my first cut, creating a nice square edge to measure off of. Unfortunately, my track saw doesn't cut deep enough to cut all the way through these slabs, so I had to use my sawzall to cut off that last little bit, since these slabs are 2.5 inches thick. After finishing my first cut, I measured out the dimensions I needed to fit perfectly in my kitchen that these will be going in. This one slab will be making 2 sections of countertops in my kitchen, so I wanted to make sure I had enough wiggle room for each portion in case there's a problem areas that I needed to get cut off. Again, I used my track saw to make this cut to make sure it was as straight as possible, and then used my sawzall to finish the cut off. After getting the final width cut of this countertop, I next had to get the exact depth, since these countertops needed to be about 25.5 inches deep. I had to be really careful handling these cutoff slabs, as bowling alleys aren't glued together at all, so the only thing that was holding them together was these small nails, and if held incorrectly, they would just fall apart. After I was done getting these cut down to their final dimensions, I got my router with a roundover bit just to smooth over all the exposed edges and to give it a smooth, professional look, as well as prevent any future splintering. Next, I got my sander with both 150 grit and 400 grit sandpaper and smoothed out all of the countertops as best as I could. I did not expect to get these perfectly flat, as again, they have been abused by bowling balls for years, and I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any rust spots or anything sharp on these edges. After getting the top all smoothed out, I flipped over the slabs and added some support braces underneath just to help keep the slats together firmly, as well as have these supports fit snug inside of the cabinet. I made sure to drill pilot holes into each screw as I did not want the screw to push apart these slats at all and keep them as tight as possible. And here's what the kitchen looked like before we fully renovated this space, and as you can see, this house was filled with old shiplap and was in need of a full gut. But here's what it looks like now after we installed all of the cabinets and the new bowling alley countertops. I really like how bright this area feels now, as well as all the wood grain that you can see in these old slabs. These aren't really the conventional style of countertops, as they are a lot thicker than the standard, but my thought process was if they were made to handle getting bowling balls thrown at them for years, they could handle some kitchen plates. We still need to properly seal these countertops and make them food grade and waterproof, but overall, they fit extremely well in this spot. Be sure to stay tuned for a future video on the final walkthrough of this 1940s fixer-upper home that we've been working on, as it will be a really big before and after video. I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking this video, as I will be uploading a lot more fun beginner DIY videos as well as a bunch more reviews. Thanks again for watching, take care!